Time to psych up and get ready. There is Gastão Fraguas trying to make up for the fact that he's finished second in the European Championships this year. Now he knows he's got a chance, but there's Jenson Button. And what a great drive he put in the pre-final. Can he do it? Can he win the Formula A World Championships? Emmanuel Collard was the winner of the Formula A World Championships way back in 1988. Guy Smith finished second in the World Championships in 1991. Of course, this year, Guy Smith has gone on to win the British Formula Renault Championship, and he's won himself a Williams test drive thanks to that. Well, are we seeing similar from Jenson Button? Is Jenson Button going to be a driver that we'll be seeing a lot more of? I think so. And there he is, leading the field around. Gastão Fraguas looking a little unsure about what was going on. Bit of tyre warming going on. And the pace car leads them round. That Legend race car. Looks like somebody... Well, no, they're just checking they're all in position. They're all okay. And it looks as though... Looks to me as though Cloistermans is... No, it's not Cloistermans, it's Myra. And it looks to me as though something may have happened on that warming up lap there, because Myra seems to be suffering a lot of vibration. Looks almost as though he'd been clipped by somebody. And oh, we've got problems at the back of the field there. 150 was one of those that got involved in all of that was happening down at the back of the group. Michele Panigada, the guy we saw go off earlier on in the first race, but I think that Giovanni Myra was in trouble. He put his hand up there in the middle of it all as well. Somebody behind him put his hand up, and then we had those karts really just all over the place in the midfield. So up front, Jenson Button leads as we're into the high stakes race now, the World Championship here. Behind him, Gastão Fraguas. And then Kimmo Liamatinen. Good performance this from the Finn. We haven't seen him feature really in the European Championship so much this year. Did have a fourth place at Marienburg in the second race there. But apart from that, Liamatinen hasn't been one of the front runners this year, but this really is a great drive from the young Finn. Are we seeing another flying Finn coming through the ranks of motorsport to follow the likes of Keke Rosberg, Mika Hakkinen and JJ Leto? Jenson Button ahead of Gastão Fraguas. Fraguas has been right up there all year long, but he's yet actually to win a race. Beaten by Pantano on several occasions, but this would be the one to win if he can. But Jenson Button is going to deny him the chance if he can at all. Right behind him, of course, still Kimmo Liamatinen, the Finn, and he goes into second. Liamatinen, now watch out for him. He seems to be the one that's developing the threat now. Quite happy it seemed to be to sit in third place in that first race to qualify through for the main final. But Liamatinen now into second, ahead of the Brazilian. And now chasing after Jenson Button. But Button is driving superbly well. Then we look back into fourth position. Kentaro Kitakami is just about holding off fellow Japanese driver Masato Shimeyama. Now that's a tight little tussle, and we've got another couple of karts off there. It looks as though Michele Panigada is off again, having a bit of a tough time of it all. And meanwhile, the two Japs are really hammer and tongs. Looks as though they're sort of deciding, look, calm down a bit, let's go chasing after the top three. See if we can get ourselves involved in the battle for a podium finish. So after 9 laps, Jenson Button leads with Kimmo Liamatinen in second place, Gastão Fraguas down in third, and then the battling duo of the Japanese. Button can't seem to get away this time. Not as in the first race in the pre-final. They seem to have the performance advantage. But here in this final itself, it looks as though life is being made a little bit more difficult by Liamatinen, but Gastão Fraguas still there in third, still very much on the pace. This Valence circuit, great kart track, top speeds up to about 75 miles per hour. These engines revving to over 18,000 revs per minute. A little single-cylinder two-stroke engines, only 100cc, remember. Tiny little engines, but the performance from these machines, really quite incredible. Only weigh 140 kilograms with the driver on board. And look at this, Liam Matainen. The fin goes through. The flying fin goes into the lead. And Kimmo Liam Matainen now really wants to chase after the World Championship, but Jenson Button comes back, and in fact Liam Matainen goes down to third. Fragwash goes through. Fragwash now with the chance of taking the lead in the race. He cuts ahead of Jenson Button. Great, clean, competitive racing between these three. No contact between them, and yet the place changing. Oh, look at this, Bunton goes back down the inside. Just gives you an idea how good this Valence circuit is. Plenty of overtaking opportunities. Good smooth surface as well. An ideal venue for the World Championships as Fragwash comes back through again. Retakes that lead. Tightest corner on the circuit, sees them dropping down to about 35 miles an hour. And this time Button goes through. Fragwash looked behind, almost got himself into trouble under braking there. And now Liam Matainen's back in on the act again, looking to try and get past both of them. Great racing between these three. They've really left the rest of the Formula A opposition well behind. The question is, are they all going to stay on now? It's getting fast and furious. Button seems to have just opened up a little advantage. Gained a length or two over Gaston Fragwash. And the pressure really on now. Closing stages of the World Championship. The most important karting event in the world. A good result here can be the backbone to a successful career in motorsport. And Jenson Button in front of Gaston Fragwash and Kimmo Liam Matainen. Is it going to be the Brit? Is it going to be the Brazilian? Or is it going to be the Finn to take the World Championship of 1995? It's just so close between the three of them. Can't see the rest of the opposition, but Fragwash comes back down the inside, retakes the lead from Jenson Button. Now Button's just got to keep cool, stay in the battle. He goes through once again. It's changing every lap. The crowd are loving this. But Fragwash has gone in front once again. Well, it seems to be Button and Fragwash who are doing the overtaking. Liam Matainen doesn't seem to be quite so okay. Well, I've said that, and he's gone through to second. Well, there you go, just to prove me wrong. He now takes second place again from Jenson Button. There's only one lap to go now. Button surely has got to try and get past Liam Matainen quickly if he's to have any chance now of beating Fragwash. The last few corners coming up. Liam Matainen looks over his shoulder to see where Jenson Button is. Gaston Fragwash has got the chance now, surely, of taking the win. Liam Matainen's not close enough. Button tries to go into second place. Liam Matainen leaves enough space. Button goes into second, but has he got enough time to challenge Fragwash? Look at the lead. Fragwash has managed to open up just in this last lap. And I don't know whether Jenson Button's going to be close enough to have one last chance. Out of the last corner, Gaston Fragwash wins the 1995 World Championship in Formula A. A superb achievement for the Brazilian. And look at the delight. Jenson Button, though, what a superb drive he put in to finish in second place, and just being outdone by Liam Matainen on the last but one lap. Had to get past him again. But Jenson Button, his best result of the year, there's no doubt about that. And he now sets himself up for perhaps a career in motorsport from a result like that. Formula Super A karting next year, perhaps. But from there, perhaps into cars. So on to the podium then. And Gaston Fragwash onto the top step. Jenson Button third, Kimmo Liam Matainen third. Button second, Liam Matainen third. And then Kitakami taking fourth place.
Yeah, for me it was incredible. Everything was okay. The tire was very good. I think the tire was no problem. The engine was very good. The frame was incredible for me.
And it was worthwhile coming all the way from Brazil.
Yeah, for me it's incredible. I came from Brazil here, second in the European champion, and now world champ. I think it's very, very good. And,
You have a great driver standing next to you.
yeah, we'll see. The karting is every time it's difficult. It's never easy.
Roberto, you used to drive kart as well, and pretty good, I believe.
Well, I used to drive karts in Brazil before I went into cars. I never came to Europe to race karts, but fortunately we have champions like him that's coming up. We're European vice champion and now world champion. And we had Senna that was a vice champion in the world championship. Now we have a champion. This is fantastic. I'm very, very proud, and I hope he succeeds in his career in the future.
And what do you think about the difference in style now and in the days that you were driving?
Well, now with the days I was driving, the tires were much harder, so you could throw the cars around a lot, the karts. And now the tires are much softer, and you can't throw a lot, and you have to do tactics like he did. He saved his tires, and at the end he was there with good tires, and he was able to win the championship.
You're going to see him in Formula One?
I think he has a long career in front of him, and I hope he gets there very soon.
For the final of the Formula Super A. So this is it. This is the big one for the Formula Super A, the very top level of non-gearbox karting. Massimiliano Orsini won the pre-final, and he's the European champion. But is he going to take the World Championship? Alessandro Manetti will be battling with him. David Ford as well. He's not going to be far behind. And Risto Virtanen. Taken over the drive, in fact, of Jarno Trulli for the World Championships. Jarno Trulli, if you may remember, one of the top kartists over the last couple of years, but he's moved up into the German Formula 3 Championship in the last few races, and that, in fact, is where he is this weekend of Valence. He's racing at Zingen. And Jarno Trulli really has put in some great performances already this year. He's got himself a contract to race in the German Formula 3 Championship already for 1996. And he's backing up Norberto Fontana in the KMS team. So that's where a lot of these guys would be hoping to go, and that will have given them a lot of hope about moving on. But as I say, remember, a lot of these guys already making a very comfortable living, thank you very much, out of racing karts. And that's very much the case for Massimiliano Orsini. The battle then between Orsini number 2 and Manetti number 1. We've got an incident down there at the first corner. Not too surprising, I suppose. Milton Retabris is one of those out. And that's a disappointment for the Swedish driver who raced in the British Formula Vauxhall Junior Championship earlier this season. Has gone back to karting. Manetti challenging Orsini for the lead, and Manetti goes through. Take another look here, see if we can see what happened. It all seemed to happen about midway through the order. In fact, there were several different incidents. It looked as though Cesare Balestreri also got a little bit tied up in all that. But at the end of it all, Milton Retabris was definitely one of the main victims. So Manetti's got the lead then, and winner of the championship last year from the back of the field in the final. Remember, he had problems in the pre-final and fought his way right up through the field to take the victory in the dying moments of the event in Argentina. Alessandro Manetti should have his life a little bit more easily cut out because he's in front now in the early stages of this race, but he knows he's got some serious opposition from Massimiliano Orsini right behind him. Well, Manetti maybe could have won the European Championship this year if he hadn't gone off racing Formula Renault and then run out of money. Those 2 races he missed at Salbury, definitely a major part of not being able to wrap up the title. But the 23-year-old leads here, and if he could take another World Championship, what a great record he would have in the world of karting.